Well, if you're like most locals, you probably don't stroll down the Strip on a Friday or a Saturday night, at least not very often. If you did, you'd notice an amazing transformation that's unfolded over the past couple of years, and not in a good way. Sidewalks have been overrun with hucksters and smut peddlers and criminal types who are a threat to an enjoyable experience for tourists or locals. George Knapp of the I-Team now live on the Strip tonight to tell us about a new effort by Metro to get the Boulevard under control. George?
Well, good evening, everyone. We're another beautiful night here on Las Vegas Boulevard. We're coming to you live from one of the busiest sections of the sidewalk here in between Planet Hollywood and Paris. This is also, unfortunately, one of the busiest places for those ubiquitous smut peddlers who now number in the hundreds out here at any given time. I mean, look at them. Over the past year, their numbers have doubled or tripled out here, according to Metro. Apparently, handing out all these ads for escort services. Apparently, there's a whole lot of escorting going on in Las Vegas. However, these days, these guys compete for space with a whole range of cast of characters, movie characters and superheroes, and there's been an influx of low-level criminals, gangbangers, drug dealers, pimps, and prostitutes. 2 months ago, Sheriff Doug Gillespie took this stroll for himself and saw it and was astonished at the changes that have taken place out here. He created a special team just to deal with problems on the Strip, and man, do these guys have their hands full.
A month ago, I had a guy stab the tires on my police car in front of the Bellagio. I was actually
Metro Officer T.J. Jenkins may not have seen it all, but he's seen a lot of it.
Leaving Las Vegas, baby.
The Las Vegas Strip, once sold as a family-friendly destination, has morphed into a rolling, rollicking, booze-fueled carnival, like Mardi Gras, but every night.
And you haven't been down here in 5 years, you'll be shocked if you come down here and see the Strip the way it is.
The proof is as close as YouTube, where videos are proudly posted of drunken fistfights on the sidewalks, pranksters swimming in the Bellagio fountains, or seriously drugged-up malcontents going completely crazy.
We push whatever happens in Vegas stays in Vegas so much that this is just an adult playground up and down the Strip. They can do whatever they want. You know, the cops are like the cops in The Hangover.
The transformation on the Strip is the result of more than just marketing, though. Where once people came to the street to visit casinos, now the action is on the sidewalk. Bars are built right up to the edge of the boulevard, which means drunks spill out all day and night. The recession and lower room rates have attracted a less affluent visitor, and the perception is that people can get away with anything here.
From 10 o'clock at night till 6 in the morning, it doesn't stop.
So that we could go after the gangsters, the drug dealers, the pimps, and the prostitutes. That's your guys' job.
Sergeant Ford runs a brand new Metro squad created in early October to take back control of the Strip. They target drug dealers, pimps, hookers, and gangsters. After each nightly briefing, team members head out into the fray, and there's no such thing as a dull moment.
What are you looking for?
Basically anybody that looks out of place. Like
the I-Team tagged along for a shift with officers Bo Dennett and Angelo Colucci. In the first 5 minutes, they detected a motorist smoking marijuana.
Yeah, I can smell it.
Once on the pavement, they checked an underage trio for IDs and gang tattoos.
You ever been arrested?
Yeah.
For what?
Messing around.
Come here, man.
As they finished with the youngsters, they heard a ruckus in the road and saw 3 men hassling a rolling billboard.
Come here, man. Don't walk off. Come here.
2 of the 3 had lengthy records and 1 had an outstanding warrant. They were taken to a staging area where 6 other suspects were already in custody awaiting transport to the jail, 2 of them with warrants of their own, most under the influence of something. As a crowd watched the show, a man collapsed on the sidewalk and his wife wasn't happy about our camera. Dennett and Colucci left to look for a suspect who'd stabbed someone during a robbery attempt at the Trop.
We're going to see if we can spot anything from out here.
Then they were called to the Imperial Palace, where someone was threatening to jump from the 16th floor balcony. Then it was back to the sidewalk outside Rock House, where an unruly crowd had gathered.
Yeah, they need a quota.
Unruly is the right word.
They need a quota, what?
5 more people were arrested on various charges. Dennett and Colucci then focused on a section near Planet Hollywood, known as a hangout for drug dealers and gang members. Everyone they stopped to speak with had an arrest record or warrants or gang affiliation.
In possession of marijuana.
2 looky-loos who pulled over to watch one arrest were themselves busted for marijuana.
You got anything to drink tonight?
And they topped off their shift with a DUI in front of the Riviera.
Yeah, they're just smashed.
Busting people for smaller crimes prevents bigger problems later in the night, Metro believes, and the problems do get big. The influx of gangsters with weapons has led to frequent gunplay.
I've worked the strip for 4 shootings, I think. And so, you know they're up here.
Although the incidents rarely hit the news, some of these violent outbursts are incredibly dangerous, such as a drive-by gun battle earlier this month right in the heart of the strip.
40-something rounds were exchanged between rival gang members. Yeah, I mean, there's guns up here.
You know, we don't want to scare people from coming down here. If you pay attention to your surroundings, you'll be perfectly safe. And Metro says with their increased visibility down here, things are only going to get better. In just the first 3 weeks of operation of this new squad, they've already seen a marked difference, fewer fights. A lot of the gangbangers and drug dealers have moved on for greener pastures, and they say it's only going to get better. However, there is one concern that Metro has that they have not fully addressed, and that is it deals with terrorists. There is a significant threat that they have identified that terrorists really are in town here coming to check for weaknesses. Tomorrow night we'll tell you what the weakness is, and we'll tell you how Metro's been dealing with it.
Metro police say the threat of a terrorist attack in our community is very real. They've spotted suspects linked to terrorist groups on the Strip over the past year. As we reported last night, a new team was created by Sheriff Gillespie earlier this month to weed out street criminals from the Strip sidewalks. But there's another team out there as well, and it's their job to look for the ultimate bad guys. George Knapp of the I-Team is live on Las Vegas Boulevard with the exclusive story. George.
Well, it's Halloween weekend out here, which means they'll bring out even more colorful characters than usual. That will keep Metro's newest unit hopping all weekend long. But for another unit, the HSST, that's the Homeland Security Saturation Team, the boogeymen out here are not fictional characters at all. They're very real. Some of them, these monsters, have already been out here trying to blend in on the boulevard that never sleeps.
The party starts at the welcome sign, where up to 4 Elvi at a time compete for space and tips. Day or night, Presleys of all shapes and sizes and pigmentation cajole tourists for snapshots and cash.
Viva Las Vegas, baby.
Even the sign behind this Elvis is a live performer in costume. Superheroes, movie characters, monsters, you name it. Tourists generally like the so-called buskers, except when they get too pushy about being paid or when they fight for a spot on the sidewalk.
Yeah, we have turf wars.
Showgirl versus showgirl?
Showgirl. We have Superman versus Batman. Actually, we took one of the Elvises, one of these guys, to jail last week because they got into a fight.
2 Elvi on the same street?
2 Elvi, they actually go to jail in costume.
The most notorious eyesores are the hundreds of smut peddlers, sometimes 15 or more in a row, handing out flyers for what amounts to prostitution, leaving a thick trail of trash on the sidewalk. But there's little police can do.
Smut peddlers, every tourist complains to me about these people every night. I get at least one complaint about them. Oh, yeah. Why can't you do anything about this? My kid's out here.
Aggressive hucksters sell just about anything: drugs, sex, trinkets, none of them legal or licensed.
Selling water? Yes, $1.
The ones who worry Metro most, though, sell water. On hot days, the Strip is lined with ice chests.
Ice water, $1.
You'll get people that are homeless, don't have a place to stay, indigent, and that they will find water bottles. They'll take them out of the trash can. Once they take the water bottles out of the trash can, they will go fill them up with water from an unknown source. Could be a tap, could be anywhere. And then they'll tighten it and they'll put them in a cooler, and then they'll sell them for $2 to tourists walking down the street. Tourists have no idea, I have no idea where those water bottles came from. And when they open them, somebody's already drank from them before.
You got any tattoos on your arms?
Mike Ford's new squad is on the Strip every night to target the common criminals, now all too common. Sergeant T.J. Jenkins has also worked this street and is semi-famous for this takedown of a suspect. But these days, he and his team have a different priority: terrorists.
We're not worried about building planes in the buildings anymore. We're worried about bombs and backpacks, bombs and purses. What's in the suitcase?
It might seem like overkill to hassle the hucksters about their backpacks or ice chests, which are stashed in bushes or behind benches whenever officers approach, but Metro sees them as serious potential threats.
It starts out that way. Whose backpack? Your backpack?
No.
Whose backpack? That's his backpack?
Yeah,
Make sure that's his backpack.
If police become complacent about seeing so many receptacles, the day may come when an ice chest will be filled with something other than ice.
If you've never seen 10 pounds of C4, inside of a water cooler, maybe a lunchbox, and we actually took the team out to the desert and we put that much on a cat bus, a double deuce, and it split a cat bus in half. I'm talking about into 2 separate pieces. And then we have a bomb go off down here. We have an explosion, and we missed it. And then we're done. We're done if that happens.
You think it's going to happen?
I believe it's going to happen. I think it's just a matter of time.
And they think the threat is real because suspected terrorists have repeatedly made forays into Las Vegas, testing the defenses here. They've been spotted taking photos of security cameras, creeping around on top of buildings and hotels, around chemical tanks, searching for weaknesses. Remember, most of the 9/11 terrorists visited Las Vegas first. So the Metro teams walk the street, ride the buses, make themselves visible and vigilant. They work with casino security, make use of a vast array of surveillance cameras, and hope to make the bad guys think twice.
What we want to hear now is, why are there so many of you guys out here? So that's the whole point. So if they think that you can come here and get away and not be seen, we're looking and we'll find you. We'll get off here and then walk up.
When Sergeant Jenkins says he thinks it's inevitable that something will happen out here, he means it's inevitable that the bad guys will try. Just as inevitable as the fact that the good guys will make sure that they stop them before any damage is caused, and we're confident that Metro is right on target with that. At the nightly briefings for the Convention Area Command, the sheriff and his chiefs repeatedly drive home the importance of being vigilant out here, which is exactly what these officers are doing. It is obvious that Las Vegas for many years has been on a list of possible targets. But it's also true that Metro intends to make it as difficult as possible for the bad guys to pull something off. Reporting live from the Strip, George Knapp, 8 News Now.